something that is kind of crucial for you to understand is that not all AI is alike. We hear a lot about artificial intelligence, but I just want to explain a little bit. And no, I'm not going to go into detail about all the formula behind because I don't know them. I don't know the answers, but it's just to show you that, really that it's all this computing and math and wonderful things like this. So artificial intelligence, it can be characterized into two different types based on its capabilities, based on what it can do. And if you are able to understand these two different types of artificial intelligence, it will help you in identifying the different types of applications, the different types of limitations of artificial intelligence in different contexts. So let me give you a better example. So I think the biggest way to look at this is to think narrow AI, sometimes also called weak AI. I don't think it's weak personally. I'm going to say it's a little bit narrow in scope. And this is things that are designed for specific tasks, right? So like voice recognition. So I have some examples on the screen. So when you say, hey Siri, or hey Google, or hey Alexa, all of these things, this type of voice recognition, these voice assistants, this is narrow AI that is designed to understand and respond to your voice commands, right? It's designed to understand and respond to perform tasks like setting an alarm, like making phone calls, answering questions, right? So something that's very limited. There are also other examples like Google Translate. I love Google Translate. It uses narrow AI to translate text from one language to another, right? So this is just a very small example. It's not going to do a whole bunch of things. And this is very limited functionality. Earlier, I gave you an example of Netflix, right? Saying how Netflix is going to help identify the different types of shows that I like so that it can keep showing me more content of things that I like. So you'll see that with any sort of recommendation system, whether it is Netflix or Amazon or Spotify, they all use narrow AI to analyze user behavior and preferences. And then after this, they're going to be able to recommend to you movies, products, songs, etc. Okay. Also under the screen there, you have Tesla. Look at that, right? So autonomous vehicles, like some of the Tesla models, so there's some that are a bit more complicated, they can use narrow AI to navigate roads. And so that's how they're going to avoid obstacles. That's how they're going to follow traffic rules. And again, it's like I said, it's very simple commands. I'm not going to say weak. Again, I'm going to say very simple. The last image that I have there for you is something that you would see in a factory. And that's because I think robotics are really huge, and we've seen a lot of robotics in the past. They can be programmed to perform specific tasks, things like picking up an item in a warehouse, or even picking things up, moving them down, assembling things on an assembly line. All of this is AI. I know, right? So like I said, we've had it for a while. Those are just a few examples. And if you'd like, please feel free to put something in the chat if you're thinking that there might be something else. Like I said, there will be a little quiz coming up later, so a little interactive poll, but just to get you thinking, we've mentioned recommendation systems like Netflix, Amazon. We've mentioned voice recognition, Tesla, self-driving cars, language translations, robotics, but you keep thinking if there's something else. So that was narrow AI. So in contrast, we also have general AI or strong AI. And here we're talking about an AI that's a bit more powerful. This AI is going to be designed to understand and reason across a range of tasks. And so the whole idea, it's going to resemble humans, right? The human cognitive abilities, the things that we can do, ChatGPT and Microsoft Copilot and others are going to try to do the same thing. So I'm going to just take a second because I saw that something popped up in the chat. I'm going to take a second to see if I can find it. here we go. In the chat, what was their question about? Let's see. I had no clue AI was in all that. Translate really, yeah, yes, and it is evolving that fast. Yes, I completely agree. It is amazing, amazing stuff. The other thing that I was going to ask you is to put in the chat if you've already used ChatGPT. Let me know if you've already used ChatGPT. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Thank you. And for those of you, oh no, okay. Yeah. Oh, for both work and writing stories. Love this. I love this. This is what gets exciting, right? Because it's like having a little assistant to help you out, right? So for those of you who have already used ChatGPT, let me know again in the chat. Were you surprised that it's like talking to a person? Oh, ChatGPT, very basic. Meta AI. Oh, wow. And Google Gemini. Wow. Okay, Marilyn, you are like doing all the good stuff. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, it is really, really surprising. And Maureen, I see it. Your husband has it in for his music. This is great. I see that Patrick is using it. I honestly wonder if there isn't another person. I know, right, Sydney? It's crazy. Yes, and Yvonne saying I was surprised when it started asking me questions back as in a conversation. That true, Yvonne. Even for me, when I write something and it says, "Oh, would you like me to do something else with this? Do you want me to give you an infographic for that, or would you like an image?" I mean, it is like talking to a human. Google Gemini is like talking to a friend and brainstorming ideas. Thank you, Marilyn. It's exactly what I wanted someone to say. It is that brainstorming ideas. It is not as though you are truly getting the answer, because I know that a lot of young people they believe that it is the answer, that they can, write something into ChatGPT or any other AI, and at home ChatGPT has a name. Yes, I love it. I love it. I want to know what the name is. But the people think that like it is the expert, and it's not an expert. It is a computer that is mimicking human behavior, right? So please keep that in mind. It is a talking to a friend who may or may not have like an expert degree in this. But it's something else. Thank you, Stacy. I also encourage students to use ChatGPT. I encourage my own boys to use them as a tool, right? As we were talking about knives, it can be a tool. I think Yvonne mentioned that I'm also a lawyer. I tell people there are stories where we've had lawyers in the United States who use ChatGPT to create case documents and studies. And it's just like, what are you thinking? What are you doing? Because it just made up cases in front of court. So it's not good. But yes, it does know that it gives you clarity and it guides you to be more creative. These are all absolutely fantastic uses of ChatGPT, and it makes me super, super happy. And I'm going to ask again, Yvonne, can you nod your head for me? Are you just seeing my one big screen? Okay, thank you. I've also got the meeting chat over there. Let me move that here. But this is wonderful. Oh, ChatGPT asked to call it Alex. That is really cool. So ChatGPT asked you to call it Alex. Oh my gosh, okay, that's just wild. I have not heard of that. I think it's really cool. I'm going to ask my ChatGPT and my Microsoft Copilot, because of course I like to play with them all. I'm going to ask them if it has a name that it would prefer. It is very true that you can do things like that with the voices, right? Where you can pick the voice that you want it to respond to you in. And so I do like that. It's very interesting. If you'd like to have someone with a British accent or an American accent like mine. Edith says, I like it when AI accepts the fact that you are not the expert and you should get professional advice in some cases. Exactly. That is a brilliant part. And I love it that it will tell you this. Oh, Maureen, you're saying find it marginally scary, but probably because you're limited in your understanding. No, Maureen, you're not limited in your understanding. No, it can be a little bit scary because we don't know where the information's coming from. This is just like before. And Maureen, I'm going to date myself here, but when I was in my law firm in San Francisco, I remember when we started using the internet and all of these things. And it was crazy to think that we could all share documents And, it was just this different thing. Whereas before, it was typewriters and word processors, and it was different. So I 100% get you. But let me just tell you this, Maureen, you drive your car, don't you? You don't understand how your car works, do you? Me neither. Me neither. So I assure you, I promise you, you can use AI with the same sort of confidence that you use to drive a car when you understand the rules and when you understand the limitations. Yeah, Benjamin, the voices are so realistic. Oh, goodness, that's a great question. Wonder what the implications are in mental health. Okay, see, so this is going to be a conversation for I think it's session webinar 4, Evine, where we talk about some of the manipulations and things, and maybe it's even 5, where we talk about societal implications. Just because there are so many things out there and we don't know. And actually, you're making me digress, Benjamin, but I will do it for you. It is so true that with our young people today, we are very concerned about them using chatbots as girlfriends, boyfriends, as mental health therapists. I mean, there is a whole bunch of that's going on. So while we're talking about brainstorming to help us study or create a PowerPoint presentation or get some ideas for a blog post, there are people, especially young people, who are saying, oh, I got bullied at school today. What do you think? What should I do? How should I react? Or perhaps I asked a girl out and she told me no, I'm feeling sad. What do you think? These things are all really interesting, and it's just we're right at the tip of it. But like I said, as I was telling Maureen, and I'm telling all of you, yes, it can be scary, but the fact that we're going to keep talking about it, that is going to reduce the fear factor. And we're going to try to get the answers because technology is here to stay. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. Okay, so let me go back to my deck. I have been so busy talking. I love this. This is what happens when I get off and I start talking on, oh, wait, hang on a second. Move this around. And am I still sharing my screen? Yes, I am. I'm sharing my other screen. Okay, perfect. So I've got it. There we go. Perfect. So let's see, what was I saying? So we were talking about these general AI, right? The stronger ones. So we know that it can engage in this sort of natural language conversations, right? We've already said that, answering questions, even generating different creative text formats. And it just seems like, yeah, it understands everything. It has general understanding and it can respond. So what I would also like to just mention is current AI applications. And I'm gonna hold off a little bit on this one, so I'm gonna give you guys a quiz in just a second. But I just want you to realize, and I hope Maureen and some of the others, that this reduces some of the fear when we realize how much AI we're already using. Because most applications today, they are that narrow AI, right? So they're focused on specific things rather than that sort of reasoning and cognitive thinking, et cetera, right? So for example, this is, hey Siri, provide me, play this song, right? Or you can even ask it, who wrote the song. But the more cognitive, the more general AI is going to be something about, prepare an analysis and compare that music to this music. That is that sort of reasoning. So you can see the difference, right, between narrow and general.